So I'm Jennifer Carter. I'm the co-founder of RentTheRunway.com. And at Fashion Week, we do send our team to go see the shows. It's wonderful to be able to see things in person because you get a feel for how the clothing moves and how the audience is reacting to it. It really brings everything to life, and it also lets you see the full vision that the designer has around their collection. Well, for Rent the Runway, we're always looking for dresses, so our eyes typically go towards those pieces, and clearly not everything on the runway is a dress. When we're looking at dresses, we look for vibrant colors because people who are renting a dress usually want something where they can stand out, and we're also looking for unique cuts. You're not going to want to rent the typical little black dress. You want something that's a look at me piece. And we're also paying attention to the fabric and the materials things are made with, because we actually really need some durable dresses that are going to withstand and wear and tear of them. So after the shows, we then go to market. Our designers, with the help of our analytics team, will pick out which styles and trends they think are going to work for our consumer. We'll also engage our consumers and ask them what they liked. So we do, have a style council. We're posting photos on social media. We're getting their input. And then about 6 months later, after we've placed our order, the stuff starts coming into our warehouse, and we're able to put it up on site even a little before that. When we look at dresses on the runway and we're looking at them on models, we are trying to think about how is this going to work for a real woman. One thing that's helpful is when you go to market, you can actually look at real women trying on some of these dresses, and even though they're still samples, you get a feel that off of a 5'10" model who's incredibly skinny, how is this going to look on a woman who's more typical in size? So they'll have women who are size 4 or size 6 there to model the dresses sometimes, or we'll even sometimes have our own vendors try on the dresses. And they've done this so many times that at this point, they do have a good sense of what's going to work. The fabric and how much kind of flex and stretch in the fabric there is also really makes a difference and can be very helpful. So there's a big focus on blush for this kind of upcoming spring season, and we see a lot of creative, really flowy materials with blush colors. Lace this past winter has been huge, and I feel like that's a trend that just won't quit, and all of our lace dresses do really well. And then we're, like I said, we're constantly looking at what's happening on the runway, and I feel like we've seen some interesting long dresses with really unique cuts, which is great for our consumer because long dresses do well, and the more unique a cut is, it makes less sense to own it, more sense to rent it. Yeah, so Rent the Runway is a new concept in that women hadn't rented dresses years ago, and as we're introducing women to these designer brands, we're being very careful about how we present and display these brands. And when we first started Rent the Runway, designers were sometimes skeptical of, how is this new site going to reflect my brand? We're now over 4 years in, and designers have realized that we're really a marketing tool where customers can actually try out their brands, take it out for a test drive, so to speak, that night, and then get all these compliments and realize that when they can afford it, they would like to purchase from these brands. So it's really kind of been a full come around where the design community really embraces us, and we're also able to work with emerging designers to present new collections and new designers to consumers who otherwise might not have heard of them just yet. Our consumers are constantly looking at runway trends, what is hot this season, the styles, the colors, what's walking the red carpet at the award shows, and we have more award shows coming up, which will make a big impact on the trends as well. And they really want to be able to try those out for themselves. They realize they're glamorous, they're sexy, and that when they put them on, they feel that way as well. They feel empowered, and it's fun to just be able to look at some of these wonderful, creative items and trends walking the runway and ingest them to your own wardrobe. For women who are curious about Rent the Runway but still on the fence, try it. It's really low risk. You're not keeping something forever. You're just having fun with it. You're playing dress up for the night. That's how we think of it. It's a low dollar investment, but it's really just low commitment overall. We have a team of stylists that make everything incredibly easy. And it's just, we think of it as fun. I mean, you're going on, you're choosing from thousands of styles from the top designers, and you're playing dress up for the night out. My Fashion Week must-have is probably just my Celine bag, because I feel like I can take it with any outfit and I instantly look fashionable, and no matter what. But Rent the Runway is definitely a Fashion Week must-have in itself, because I take for granted that I can just wear new great dresses every single day to these shows, and I can throw on whatever designer show I'm going to. I put on one of their designer dresses, but really any woman can do that with Rent the Runway, because you can get 10 dresses for the price of one. We have all the designers that are showing this fashion week, so it's a great way to actually show up at the show in that designer's dress. And in New York, we ship same day, so before 3 p.m., place an order and we'll get it to you. Kind of have the biggest closet or the ultimate dream closet. It's pretty fun.